You spend much of the time here analyzing and considering Romans 5 and 8, not necessarily 5 through 8, although that's important too, but we want to focus specifically on chapters 5 and 8. And I'm curious, what themes does Paul introduce in Romans 5 and that end up reappearing in 8? I'm interested in exploring here the connection between these two and what drew you to that.
So this was a methodological question that was really challenging right at the beginning. Mm-hmm. How do I talk about these things? Well, if you look at, say, Douglas Moo's commentary or several others, they talk about Paul's ring composition.
Yeah.
And what they mean by that is, in the structure of Romans, he introduces multiple themes in Romans 5, and then he has to spend Romans 6 and 7 kind of fleshing it out, providing some more context to give himself the grounding now to expand those things in Romans 8. And so there's some charts that you can find connecting all kinds of themes from Romans 5 to Romans 8. So an early one is the theme of glory.
Yes, very much there.
He mentions the glory of God in Romans 5, verse 2 as the hope that is now open to us because of our justification. And then lo and behold, if you go to Romans chapter 8, the pathway to glory is going to be through suffering with Christ. You know, all of creation is groaning, looking forward to the revelation of the sons of God. And then he talks about our glorification as the certainty of where we're going, that nothing can separate us from that hope. So glory is a major theme.
Yeah, which is, by the way, is exactly what Paul also does in Romans 5, verse 3.
That's right.
Right.
Suffering, then glory, leading to hope.
Yeah.
Right? And suffering is another one. Not only mankind, but also creation, but especially believers in union with Christ. That's Romans 5, 2, and 3. And then that's basically all of Romans 8. I'll mention one more, unless you guys want to prompt me with more, because there's a lot.
There are many.
But Romans 5:5 mentions the Holy Spirit who's been poured into our hearts because of the love of God. The outpouring of the Holy Spirit doesn't come out of nowhere. Paul is actually there alluding to several Old Testament promises in the prophets. So, Will, you might want to comment when I'm finished here. But God promises to pour out his Spirit, that's going to be a symbol of restoration, of reconciliation to God. And right there in Romans 5:5, he talks about the coming of the Spirit. Well, what is Romans 8 all about?
Yeah, often identified as the chapter of the Holy Spirit.
The Spirit is barely mentioned, and then I think it's 21 times just in Romans chapter 8.
Yes.
We have the pneuma word group mentioned about, and what is it? It is the indwelling of the Holy Spirit working resurrection life in the believer. We are spiritually resurrected, looking forward to our physical resurrections. It's introduced in Romans 5:5, and then fully developed in Romans chapter 8. And so there's a mutual reinforcement. And it affords the opportunity that I use in this book of using Romans chapter 5 and Romans chapter 8 as interpretive lenses, one for the other. They're kind of the bounds of the section about life in the Spirit. And so it makes sense to use those two chapters.
Yeah.